Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a fantastic best of 5 here in the bottom right, spawning as the blue Terran player playing for Team Liquid. It's going to be Clem. And in the top left, spawning as the red Zerg playing for Ents Esports. It's going to be Serral. Ents Gaming perhaps even. Finnish team of course, I think founded in 2013. And Serral has been part of Ents for a very long time. I think 6 or 7 years already at this point. So a mainstay at the team. And a mainstay, of course, in the top of the StarCraft 2 scene. Clem. Well, the former up-and-comer. And now basically the king of Europe. Winning 3 DreamHack Masters in Europe out of the past 4. Losing the latest one to Serral in the finals. And now perhaps gets his chance for revenge here. This is the upper bracket finals from the Stay at Home Story Cup number 4. Clem opening up with a single gas so far. No second gas here coming out of Clem. Ooh, okay, we're gonna see a second gas. And Clem, he has been vocal. He has been vocal about the fact that his TVZ isn't what it used to be, where we used to see a Clem who liked to open up with triple CC Banshee builds or triple CC 6 Hellions into a Viking or 2 Hellions into a second Rax and then kind of control the pace of the game from there. He isn't as comfortable anymore in those games. He doesn't feel unbeatable no more, and he says, you know, I feel like I now need to switch it up a little more in order to get those high win rates that I had before. And his win rates also have gone down a little bit in TVZ. He's been losing maps, he's been losing series to players you perhaps wouldn't expect him to lose to. This first Reaper manages to jump out, not getting anything major done, but also not dying, so that tends to be a relatively big deal, the not dying part here. So we see a 2-base Banshee opener coming out of Clem. At least I assume it's going to be Banshee. Could still be an Armory as well, of course. Technically, nothing stopping him from throwing down an Armory, going for a Hellbat attack. So the first Reaper is hoping to perhaps take out a Tumor, maybe a Ling here and there. Would be something nice for that Reaper. It's a good start. First 2 Hellions make their way on the map. Start looking for those creep Tumors. And perhaps put some fire to those queen spots. You never know. Don't think that's a sentence you'll ever hear in real life. It's probably something that can get you arrested if you say this in the United Kingdom. Do you want to fire the queen's butt? But in StarCraft 2 that's completely normal here. The first 2 Hellions and the Reaper are doing exactly that. Taking a couple of pot shots here at those queens. Trying to scrape off a creep tumor to the left, to the right. Just making those quick rotations here. And Serral, with that vision on the Overlords, actually has a pretty good idea of what's going on. We see a move forward here out of Clem, wanting to dive in, wanting to dive deep, perhaps go for a couple of drones. Oh my god, it's gonna go again actually. 6 more Lings are in production, so even if Clem would have gotten the Lings over there, I still don't think this would have been the play. Now we have 6 cars so far, it's going to be 8 cars total, and we'll see double Banshee with Cloak coming out as well. 3rd CC should go down pretty soon. All of this does get spotted by Serral, who's also aware that this is going to be bio. Now, for a lot of players you can say, well, these guys are more than just bio players, but with Clem I don't think that's actually true. I think I've seen him play mech once in the past 3 months. That was against Solar on Blackburn, if I recall correctly. It did look kind of fabulous, I have to admit. It looked nice, it looked cool, but he is a bio player, okay? Bio runs through his blood. And you can always see that as well when he plays mech. It doesn't feel like home for him. Does not feel like home. Serral on the other hand here, opening up with a 3rd and a 4th gas layer before double Evo chambers. So wants to be getting into that layer pretty quickly. Could be for Muta-ling, could also be for a quicker bailing speed to deal with that first push well. There's a couple of reasons why. Of course, you also want to get those Overseers against the Banshee. It's so nice to have an Overseer against these Cloak Banshees rather than having to rely just on pure spores. 2 Hellions do die over there, and 2 more are extremely low, so I think the Hellion pressure kind of ends here. These 2 Banshees do find a little bit of damage, as Serral's only on 52 workers at this point. So although Clem did not open up with the most economic opener, his eco relative to Serral right now is actually looking pretty healthy. He needs to be careful to not tank any Banshee shots here with these, or any Spore shots with these Banshees. We'll be able to get out of here alive. Forward base on the way for the Finnish Zerg player. The third base finishes up at around the same time as the fourth starts here for the Zerg. What are these boxes? It's like mystery boxes. Open them up, you get a present. Zergling eats your face. Ta-da! It's not a great present, but yeah. Never look a gifted horse in the mouth, as we say. Third base gonna fly over onto, well, big surprise, the third base location, which is going to be the forward one. Kind of shorten that push distance from that third base to, well, actually, Serral's third. That's a real possibility here. Instead, we see Clem going towards this ramp, maybe trying to get a tank siege up here to deny that fourth base, and that's exactly what he is doing. We still have 6 cars alive. We'll be able to protect the tank. The Banshees will be able to protect this third base. So we have just a really nice setup. I'm surprised we only have a single tank here, and Serral desperately trying to push on top of this because he wants to make sure that he can go up that high ground. Because if a tank gets into this position, oh boy, that's just going to be so freaking dangerous. So freaking dangerous here. I love this setup already out of Serral. Of course, with the full vision of the tower, is going to allow himself to set up the perfect flank. And indeed, here it is. Tank is going to get targeted down pretty rapidly here. Hellbats will fall against the Banelings. And this little Marine army needs to get picked up and starts flying into the main base. But Serral, of course, already has units in position. Did I expect anything than him being in position? I didn't really. So we see these Lings now going on a little patrol path, having the time of their lives with the boys. Just dancing and moving. A couple more Banelings here are being morphed in. You have 10 Banelings still alive. This drop does get cleaned up, or at least pushed back. Not really cleaned up, as they're still alive. Hydra is then on the way here for the Finnish Zerg. Decides to go into a more Hydra Bane focused style. Now usually you'd see that... Oh, it's going to be 6 gas already. If we don't see a fast infestation pit, this could just be a longer reliance on those Hydras. We've seen them kind of come back into play as well lately, rather than just straight running into lurkers from Lingbane. We see bigger Hydra compositions, and we can kind of see that out of the next 2 upgrades. If that's going to be a range upgrade, perhaps we'll see more Hydras here being built. So far, not really the case. These Banshees are really squeezing water out of stone here, as they even start targeting down Lings. Of course, Lings do cost money. They're just very cheap. So often you see most people just kind of ignore them. Go for more juicy targets. Like a drone or a queen. Or a baneling. And all of these are way juicier targets. So what was that? What's happening down there? Look at that. A little bit of explosions and stuff. I think we're on top of like a floating city here. It's kind of cute. I do like that. Clem gets his 4th base. Double tank production on the way. We do have a bunch of Hydras coming out. No infestation pit yet. Yes, I'm correct here. No infestation pit yet. And also... no lurker then. Which makes sense, because lurkers without the seismic spines are kind of useless. You'd rather just have Hydras. Serral also isn't going up to a worker count where I say, wow, that's a crazy amount of workers. So it's not 85, you know? It's not 96. It's not 105. No, this is 74. It's a good number, but it's a good number for someone who wants to become aggressive pretty soon. And Serral really does either need to start adding some drones or need to make a move, you know? He needs to throw a move. You can't just stand there in the corner dancing by yourself the entire night and then expect something to happen when you're on 74 drones. No. Yeah, sometimes you need to make a move. Move forward, introduce yourself. That's definitely what Serral needs to do here, as Clem is the one actually who's pulling out the next move. And Serral is obviously welcoming this with open arms. He says, well, you want to push into my semi all-in? I'm completely fine with that. And Clem says, are you sure, buddy? I do have a lot of tanks. I have a nice little position here. A crap ton of Marines. Serral needs to pull back the army that he kind of meant as either a counterattack or to deal with the secondary army of Clem. Now we see that secondary army move in, and it is... oh, it's a rapid army as well, moving forward. This is going to get cleaned up. Bunch of the tanks will fall down. Clem wants to drop here once again. It's not going to work out. These Marines don't really care about the creep. Just looking for a kill on the hatchery or a bunch of drones will not happen. Banshee goes down, and the pickup also commences here. So Clem will have to well, kind of run out of here. Or fly out of here. 4 tanks still alive in this game. Hive is now on the way. Clem in a little bit of a worker lead, and does an income lead as well, most likely. Adding 3 barracks, 3 starting soon. And then the 4th command center and the 5th command center are short to follow most of the time as well. I am a little bit familiar with how this Frenchie plays, and that tends to be the golden standard here for the French Terran playing for Team Liquid. Blue Trunks today. Sensor tower. Oh, this one hell of a position on this sensor tower, by the way. Easy to kill with a run by, but if there's no run bys, then difficult to kill because there's no units there. Interesting tank position here, but big flank coming out of Serral will be able to clean this up. Good target fire on those tanks. These Marines need to be picked up. Ooh, a couple of Marines do fall there. Not the quickest pickup out of Clem. We'll have to fly back. I don't think this is the drop he intended to go for. And now perhaps we have Serral moving in. Wants to still do something. 86 workers at this point. And Lurker then plus Hive finishing up. This is scary for Clem because usually the Terran kind of is in charge before the Lurkers are out, but it feels like right now Clem has been the one attacking, but he doesn't really necessarily feel in charge. He feels like he's closer to dying than to killing Serral most of the time. There's 2 tanks here. There is a single tank at the 3rd base. It feels like the army supply for Clem... Well, actually, the army supply for Clem is very small. I was gonna say his army feels so small for how high his supply is, but he has freaking 88 workers on 4 bases. There has to be some major oversaturation, as we see his natural and his 4th right now are oversaturated. He's mining a crap ton of gas. This is some heavy oversaturation, by the way, on this 4th base. We do see a 5th CC on the way, but having 88 workers is not actually that useful if you don't even have a 5th base yet. Usually say 84, 83 workers on 5 base, 74, 75 on 4, especially because his main is already mined out. His natural has 2 less patches than it should have. Like, this is tricky. This really is quite tricky here for Clem, who's immediately going to start rotating a couple of SCVs towards that potential 5th base. Gets caught here in the middle of the map. Parasitic Bomb could go off. Not quite the case. 3 tanks on the same location here. Need to be careful against any potential blinding clouds. Serral's looking for a fight. I'm not quite sure if that fight should be off creep, though. There is a crap ton of Banelings, but... ooh, Clem is just moving forward so aggressively. Wants to secure this 5th base, but... maybe a little bit too soon here as 1 blinding cloud goes down, 2nd blinding cloud will go down. All of the other tanks have already died against either the Hydras, the Lynx, or the Banelings. There's still a crap ton of Banelings around here, 36. A bunch of those are in the back, no mines in this army. Does mean that these Banelings are going to be rather useful against these Marines and Marauders. There's no mines to take them out. 60 Lynx as well as 3 Hydras on the way. Overall resources lost in favor of Clem. But I think the mining lately has been a lot better here for Serral. So we see Serral maxing out, Clem struggling to max out, and still with that huge SCV count, it just means that his army is sucking. And the problem with such a big SCV count is that if you have these big spread out maps, these big spread out bases, like is the case here on Curious Minds, you're just gonna struggle splitting your army effectively because you just don't have that much army supply. A lot of supply is already in these medevacts, then we have a crap ton of supply in tanks as well. How are you gonna be dealing with run-bys, with little lurker attacks, with pokes and prods coming out of Banelings? Look at how small this bio army looks right now. There is 28 Marines there, a lot of the army is at home, perhaps to deal with this run-by. I mean, it has been spotted by the sensor tower. The sensor tower saw that more up close than it probably ever would have wanted to. 6th base hasn't been able to land yet. Is this really necessary though? Is it necessary for Clem right now to say, hey, I want this 6th base? I don't think it is, because he's playing for a split map scenario in which Terran tends to be favored. All he needs to do is just keep these 5 bases and then eventually take this 6th base. It's not like he's running out of money and he's just spreading himself thin for no real reason. I wouldn't even mind if he loses this base. I think this could potentially be good if he also loses some SCVs, because then his army might finally start growing. I think he's spreading himself way too thin with the amount of supply he has for the army and the amount of bases he's taking all at the same time. Lurkers are moving forward here for Serral, and it seems that Serral is, well, it's calming down a little bit. Holy crap, this game has been insanely intense. I'm just getting tired just talking and thinking about it. I can't imagine what it's like playing it. Both of these guys, of course, are very quick. 480 APM average here for Serral, 389 for Clem, who is one of the fastest players. Generally, Zergs have higher APM because of the repeat rate that they abuse while building units. So a lot of their APM is inflated, but 400 average APM out of the Terran is insanely high. We see, well, not the greatest fight here. No mines here in this army make it very difficult for Clem to take good trades against high numbers of Banelings. Tanks are nice, but if they're not in position and they're not high in numbers, they just don't quite do the trick. Now, this base is going to get taken out Well, at least going to get forced to lift. If it dies, that would actually be painful, because there's no other command center anymore. We have a lot of workers going down right now. A lot of army is also dying at the same time. It's kind of an issue here for Clem, who has been failing to take this bottom base time after time, and now also is struggling to get this top base up. Focusing on two things at the same time rather than just one. Hasn't really been paying off. You see this SCV here is stuck. This guy's been patrolling his entire life. Wouldn't mind a hot pickup for this bad boy. Once again, Clem with a push forward. 165 supply. Establishing this base at the same time. Largely on creep. I just don't think this is possible, Clem. Serral moves in, moves forward. Tanks, yes, they are in the back. Try to target down a lot of these lurkers. Good scans as well. And good micro back, good stutter stepping. But it's just not going to be an effective enough fight here as Clem gets absolutely blasted once again. There's still some money in the bank for Serral. And if this 5th base gets denied another time, I am just not seeing it happen here for the French there. And is there enough scans to continuously review? I think there might be. We have at least 2 more scans available. We have a turret coming down, a planetary. I just don't quite understand these aggressive push-outs. I understand if you want to be here with your tanks and maybe deny these little creep tumors, but these aggressive push-outs seem to be ill-informed. This is such a cute lurker position here out of Serral. He's going to be sitting on that high ground. Lings are moving in right now, are going for the surround on a lot of those bio units and those ghosts. Tank keeps firing on the lurkers. We see Serral trying to move in, move forward. Lurker gets taken out, bang bang. You're dead is what he says, and well, some of these ghosts are going to get their snipes off, but not too many. Now this is a planetary, he's not going to be able to be saved. These SCVs also won't be saved, so Clem is going to drop down to a very low worker count. GG gets called, so he does not believe in it anymore, and Serral takes game number 1. 1-0 is the score as we load onto Hardwire here. A large map, but not the largest in the map pool. Glittering Ashes, of course, the biggest map that we have. Clem, once again, no proxies. Just going for that barracks at home. The good old barracks at home, an absolute classic, of course. Especially if you're used to watching Clem here. Wondering if Serral's going to switch it up a little bit this series. We've seen some Hydra Bane usage now. With a medium drone count, I would say. 74, 75. That's a good drone count. Not too low, not too high. Then if we think of some other games that we've seen recently, we've seen a lot of Hydra Bane of 66 workers. Really that all-in type of play. We've seen that a lot on Blackburn, if I recall correctly, with the gold. So powerful. But here, it's also possible, of course, on Pride of Altaris now that there is a gold. Ooh, this looks like it's a nice little female character there. Would you look at that? Beautiful grey feathers, grey skin. Squawking the night away. Like only female Karaks can. So Overlord's looking for potential proxy rexes. I always really appreciate this type of move. Out of Serral, and Raynor does this as well, is that even though Clem never proxy rexes, they don't let down. They just keep scouting for those proxy rexes with the Overlords anyway. They go through the trouble every single game. Even though the last time that Clem proxy rex probably was in the year 2015. Before, before he even was of legal drinking age in France, which I think is like 18. To be fair, he's only been like of legal drinking age for like a year, I guess. Man, Clem is young. All these kids so young. 2 more Rexes on the way. Or sorry, Rex and a factory. This is the build that we saw Maru use against Serral in Aces Rock in the round of 8. That's quite interesting. Because Maru won 3-0 against Serral there. Clem saying, hey, what Maru can do, I can do. This is going to be Marine first as well here. What? Did you just take out Automaton? I think he did. Still one going, or maybe a cleaning bot. These guys doing absolutely nothing. Useless pricks. It's actually moving back and forth. Little propeller on the back. Beautiful. So Clem is looking for an Overlord, and Overlord is here hiding above this little. I have no clue what this is. But it looks very intense. Yeah, that's where the Overlord is, above that intense machinery here. The real power of this build, by the way, from what I understood, when people used the 2-on-1 back in the day, and people loved the 2-on-1 back in the day. Ooh, wait, this is interesting. Takes two guys at the same time. Anyway, when people 2-on-1 back in the day, what they would often do is that they'd go with the first two medevacs and go in like big time, you know? Did he mess up the builder? What is this? I think he forgot his gas. Or you? Oh, it's Hellion? No, of course he doesn't make mistakes. So he's gonna build. But he doesn't. He can't afford anything. Is it a mine? 2 mines? There's no way this is a build. It just doesn't seem correct. I think he forgot his second gas, honestly. I just have never seen this before in my life. He must have forgotten his second gas. I am actually going to ask him that after this game. Because this just doesn't seem like a real build order. That is such... Look how late this is going to hit. I was going to say the most common variation that we've seen is where they kind of wait for their third medevac. We have a bunch of roaches on the way, by the way. I've mainly been focusing on the Terran base, the Terran build so far. While we see Serral opening with a quick roach warren, and it's actually still on layer tech. He's going to try to defend this with pure roach, but he's just going to be fighting a mine drop. I think Serral's probably believing at this point that it is going to be like a drilling claws drop or something like that. We see a spore coming down as well in the main base. So I was like, what the hell are you doing, buddy? I had no clue what it is, and kind of curious. Didn't really get any information. This is the beauty of playing a weird build, is that your opponent also gets confused. Now I have this medevac is gonna move forward. Perhaps try to do a little bit of damage. We'll be able to pick off creep tumors, but a straight up engagement against these roaches is not something I'd advise. Mine is walking well towards the ramp. An armory is done indeed. This wasn't an eBay, this was an armory. Okay, I've never seen this. Now, Spore's gonna move somewhere else and it's gonna find it. This is the worst build order I've seen in my entire life. This did nothing yet. Serral kind of confused and cut a lot of workers. So maybe it did work, but I am just so surprised. I'm just gonna ask Clem what this is. What is this, Clem? What is this crap? Alright. Female Karak still guarding the rocks, making sure they don't get taken out. Let's take a look at this first person here, out of Clem. Going over to scan a couple of these tumors. Loads into the main base. Immediately starts taking out this Overlord as well. Then goes back down. I feel like he's doing other things at the same time as well that I'm not really seeing here. Okay, this is Serral. This is Clem. There we go. Look at that. Look at the speed of this kid. Absolutely crazy. Hop, hop, hop. 2 eBays are pumping out upgrades at this point. 66 workers here for Serral. Seems to be going for a 1-1 roach push. A classic and something that Clem has died to before. A lot. Sees the timing on the fort base. Sees that it starts at 7 minutes. I mean, all the alarm bells right now should be ringing here for the French Terran. And they should be ringing loudly. This is the type of alarm that wakes you up real good. Like, maybe a bucket of water in the morning, you know? This is so obvious what it's going to be. And I think Clem is well aware of what's happening. Builds the depots very far forward. You have no tanks on the high ground yet. I'm afraid that... Well, can Serral just move over this? I think the answer is going to be no. Don't think he can. Can he? 1-1 isn't done yet. Clem's trying to snipe a Ravager. Actually got a Ravager there. There's 3 tanks in position. 2 tanks in position. 3rd tank's going up into the high ground. There's a crap ton of medevacs here. Bunkers now are being constructed. I don't think Clem actually realized what was kicking off here. Now he realizes, he's like, oh, wait a second. You're being serious about this, huh? You are being serious. 1-1 finishes, and look at this timing here. At 8 minutes precisely. 200 supply, 1-1 upgrades are done. Clem stims like his life depends on it. 3 tanks are dishing out so much damage right now, though. You see these Rogers in the bottom side are losing out. Only Ravagers remain. High ground tank gets taken out as the Changeling kind of functioned as a spotter there, but Clem gets a very good trade. Take a look at those resources lost here. 5.3k against a mere 3k on the side of Clem lost. There's no fort base. There's no income lead. No. This actually is a income deficit here for Serral. Of course, he doesn't have mules, which means that the longer this game goes, the better it will be for Clem. This is not it. You need to go home, buddy. You're playing against a guy that has no workers on his fort base. Yeah, a single drop is already risky. I think you should just be defending. Clem might actually end up losing a tank here. No, ends up losing a single marine. This tank needs to siege up ASAP. It's not in position. Tank on the third base is trying to siege up right now. Another tank is moving back. This drop on the other side of the map. Where is it? Where did it go? I can't even see it. Maybe it flew back home. Yes, here it is. It's unloading already. No tank on the high ground this time around. It seems like Clem once again got surprised. Even though he really shouldn't have this time. And Serral actually getting a decent trade supply-wise. But these Marauders are shooting a decent shot. Taking out Roach after Roach with those concussive shells. We'll be able to slow 1 or 2 more. I think Serral wants to turn around over here. 2-2 has started for Serral as well, who's still on 64 workers. Looking for a for an angle here. He's looking for an angle to go in. Either deal a crap ton of damage or straight up kill Clem. Infestation pit, 9 workers right now. 8 gas as well here for the finisher player. So this is what we call a transition. We have double tech labs, so increased marauder production will really give a boost to this army that Clem is working with. Rather than the standard 4 reactor single tech lab into 4 tech labs. Curious to see if it's going to be tech labs on all 3 of those barracks as well. Or maybe we'll see a reactor being mixed in here once again. Double factory just like game number 1, but this time the prognosis for this game looks a lot better here for Clem. As he's basically even in supply with a Roach player. Move out coming out of Clem. First 3 infestors on the way. 2-2 is about to finish up here for the Terran. The Zerg is not quite there yet. He'll probably die for a bit of Chrono Boost. I'll get any more of that Chrono Boost energy. The Protoss player stopped dealing it, so the Zerg has to get these upgrades in their own time. +2 might finish up, but Carapace is also really important. Don't forget, the high fire rate of the Marine makes armor upgrades often the most important thing. And the attack upgrades a little less important. These trades haven't really been great for Serral. They just haven't been great. Good splits, of course, out of Clem. Not expect anything different. Tanks are moving forward. 5 tanks still alive. Not a single one has gone down. And at this point, we could consider this a rally push, as counterattacks with Roaches are just not very viable. See 2 tanks moving across the map. This 4th base is going to get given up. And well, there is a 5th base. There is a 6th base on the way, which is now going to be the 5th base. Oh my god, huge fungal here out of Serral, who gets a lot of these units. And now throws down a couple of decent biles as well. Gets one of these tanks. Problem is that the Evo chambers here at the 3rd base might get taken out, which means no 3-3 upgrades ever for the Zerg. Oh, a couple of biles might land on top of these tanks. Actually land on a bunch of these medevacs as well. And I think Clem almost has done it, though. A lot of medevacs in the air. Can't quite see what's underneath it, but Serral says that's a little bit too much for me. Taps out. GG. As we see, scores are tied 1-1. As we enter Blackburn, you see Clem opening up with this characteristic Reaper first here. You actually see a pool first out of Serral. It's kind of cute. Not cute in a way where you bring flowers to your girl, but more cute in the way where you get shot in the back. And you're not paying attention for half a second while doing your groceries at the local supermarket. I have people refer to that as cute before as well, and that's kind of what pool first is. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but see the first few links moving across the map, and this will mean that the first Reaper should be staying home. And when I say should be staying home, I really do mean that this first Reaper should be staying home. And it should not be moving out. And it really should, yeah, there we go. Good job. Clem always listens to me. Yeah. He's a stubborn one, but in the end, the Reaper does end up going home. He's looking for these lings right now, and Serral, of course, has them tucked away in a nice corner here, close to the sun. Or whatever that is. Looks like a sun, at least, in my opinion. A lot of rocks floating around here in space. Would you look at that? Not really going anywhere either, just kind of floating there, standing still. In general, not a whole lot of movement around these ends, huh? It is what it is, I guess. Alright, no gas. Ooh, that's kind of cute. And that is cute in the flower kind of way. That is very cute. No gas here. So it opens up pool first into the... I've never seen this. And when I say never, I haven't seen this in a long time. This smells like roaches to me. Do you know that? It smells like roaches. If he gets this marine... Okay, well, he just got the marine. I'm glad I didn't get to finish that sentence, because I don't really fancy eating a shoe, but... I'm glad Clem just decided not to micro, or might have been able to finish that sentence. I have to re-record this part of the video. Double gas now being taken. Roach Warren should go down soon. And I think we might see a similar tactic, or similar strategy, I should say, out of Serral here. With those 1-1 roaches. We'll hit like a freaking bag of bricks, though. As he has that very good early game eco. With that triple hatchery, no gas. Now, you might be wondering, Kevin, why is an early gas so bad for your economy? In the real world, it seems like the people that have gas and oil and that type of resources actually make a crap ton of money. Sadly, we can't sell the Vespine gas here. You just have to use it yourself. And Vespine gas has the one bad property in that it can't be used to create more economy. The only thing that can create more economy is minerals. Drones cost minerals, hatcheries cost minerals, and queens cost minerals. All of these, overlords of course as well. So the way to get supply. And it's the case for every single race. So the faster the gas, the worse the economy tends to be. So if you can delay gas for a long time and then take double gas at the same time, yes, that's great. I absolutely love that. That's what Serral went for here. 42 workers out already. 34 on the side of Clem, who opened up with a triple CC and is now going into a 2-1-1 type of build. After opening up with 4 cars. Does he have a Viking? No Viking. Okay. This is a really cool build order here. It's gonna go into triple barracks behind this, double eBay, get those gases running as well. So this is going to give... this is kind of risky. And I think it just straight up dies to a lot of roach all-ins, like early game roach all-ins, like 32, 33, 34 worker, that type of stuff, you know, maybe even a Link Bane Flood. Nah, with pure Hellion you might actually be alright. But any type of roach all-in, I think you just straight up die, as you don't have any Banshee, you don't have an air unit. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, build a bunker and put 2.5 Marines in it? Good luck there, buddy. It's not gonna work. You need more than 2.5 men to hold a roach push. These Marines don't have Tiger Blood. We're gonna get these double eBays. 1-1 upgrade should start soon as well. This is oh my god. I was gonna say, this is an ambitious project. But he just attacked the rocks because he knew exactly where the creep tumor was. That is so brilliant. I love that so much. Holy crap, that was sick. That was really sick. That actually was insanely cool. He just freaking attacked the rocks to kill a tumor. Ah man, Clem is a genius. This guy has 3 brains, and that's not okay. Share a little, my friend. 2 is enough for you. Alright. Marines are moving in right now. We'll be able to take out this Overlord, pick up and drop straight into the main. Very often against these roach type of plays, we see... I thought that's a tiny hatchery, but you didn't actually want to build a hatchery. Very often against these roach type of plays, we see the first 2 medevacs being really aggressive. Dropping in, dropping out, dropping in, dropping out. And just sniping anything that isn't a roach. Because against roaches, you just can't fight. But against anything else, yeah, of course you can fight. Now we see these 2 bad boys heading into the main base. Spire is on the way. 67 drones already though for Serral, who hasn't really taken any damage yet. 0 workers killed. I think 5 links have gone down, and maybe half a roach. Okay, 4 links and an Overlord. These Marines now have to chase their own tail. 3rd base on the way. Clem taking the line base. Afraid of a roach all-in. Can't blame the guy, but it's not going to be a roach all-in this time around. So we see Infestors already on the way. And I think we should be seeing a Hive and a Hydra then, but... Ooh. Link speed. Talking about things that confuse me. That link speed does confuse me. No. And I'm not a guy that's easily confused, alright? After I visited the first gym, I went to the second gym and I had to walk through a cave and I met a lot of Zubats there. And if you went through that cave and you met a lot of Zubats, you know what real confusion is. But this confuses me even more. I'm very tempted to start hitting myself. 9 more drones? Spire? Okay, I've seen a lot of crap in my time. I've been playing this game for a long time. I was there when MLG happened in 2011, okay? I've seen this, but this... What is this going to be? He goes... He keeps getting range upgrades as well. Is this going to be like a Broodlord rush? Is this a Broodlord rush? With a couple of infestors? Is that what we're seeing here? It is very possible. 5 Ravagers are out. You have 2 infestors here. Ooh, that's 7 Ravagers. I can't count. Does Clem really want to go here? This is a maxed Roach army. When I say maxed, I mean 185 supply, but technically maxed. Okay, links. These links are just... I just don't understand them. Tanks shooting from a distance, as tanks tend to do. They have very large range. They had a couple of decent shots off. You have more reinforcements. Serral is pretending like he can counterattack with this, but he's going to lose the gold base. I guess he can counterattack, but I'm not quite sure how successful that's going to be. Loses mining at the gold here. We have this spire. Wait, where's that spire? Okay, it's going to be a greater spire here, so it is a Broodlord rush. Gotta cancel on, I think that was a fort base. Is this a 5 Rex? Yeah, this is a 5 Rex late fort, by the way, out of Clem. It's been an odd game in general, hasn't it, though? Can't really blame the fella. Can't really blame the fella. Here comes Serral, though. Wants to take out this army on the left side. Sees there's a tank and says, oh, perhaps that army on the left side is fine. Perhaps that army on the left side is fine, he says. 5 Corruptors on the way. Huh. He's really banking on this Broodlord rush to work, by the way. Like, there's no backup plan here. There's no eco. His army is hot garbage. He needs to push this back and straight away run across the map. He still has a lot of creep, though. So queens perhaps can help out here. What's the queen count? We're only on 3 queens? You what? 3 queens. This is a build that he's just dying. It's so funny when people tend to rush for high-tech units a bit too quick, and then they have to delay their high-tech units because they're constantly in danger of dying. I feel like that's what's happening over here. It feels like this rush would have just been better if it wasn't a rush and just tacked into it slightly slower with maybe a couple of Vipers in between. And Vipers, is that really the answer? Tanks all sieging up at the same time. No leapfrogging here out of Clem. Also puts 2 on the same exact location. Fungal did hit. I'm not even sure where that came from, but if it lands, is what I always say. And damn boy, did it land. 7 Broodlords are about to finish up. All these tanks on the high ground will be cool. But they'll mainly be doing friendly fire here. These medevacs need to pick some stuff up. They need to go back right now. They need to start picking up tanks. Clem, you need to start picking up tanks. That's not going to be able to pick up these tanks. We're going to see a big fungal here. Oh my god, that hits a decent chunk of this army. Biles at absolutely everything. And I think 6 tanks just went down over here. Broodlord's still alive. We now have a Hydra then on the way. We have melee upgrades. And we have 7 Broodlords total. And here goes Serral. This is it. This is the push that he has been preparing for. He's on 67 workers. He has no gas bank whatsoever. Base trades are definitely an option here for Clem, but he's not going for it yet. We have Vikings on the way. We have double Tor production as well as a single Ghost on the way. There's a 1 infestor here with, well, basically 2 fungals. Hits the first one. Pretty big one as well. Biles might connect with at least a chunk of this army. Vikings moving forward right now. This is pain. This is absolute pain. These 2 Vikings will be able to take out one of the Broodlords, and Vikings know nothing really to challenge them except for a couple of queens throwing darts from the ground. We'll be able to take out the first of these Vikings. 1 Broodlord has gone down. The other 6 still alive. Couple of transfuses here as well. The Thors now are coming in. Oh, Clem doesn't manage to split properly. Loses a bunch of the tanks. Thors moving forward. Do they have the correct mode? I think they do. Can't quite get in position though to start fighting these Broodlords. Still 6 Broodlords in the back. The Thors not quite getting to them. And it seems like Well, is Serral actually doing it? 25 roaches are being reproduced right now. All the broodlords still alive. Thors are gonna go down, and that is really the main issue. As long as the broods are alive and the Thors aren't, then well, you're just gonna... You can't kill them. The broods will win the game here, and you can't start reproducing tanks, even though there's gonna be a crap ton of roaches here. 4 broodlords still living. The numbers have dwindled a little bit, but so have they on the side of Clem. Another Thor moves forward. Hello, can we start shooting? Can we start shooting? Ah, has them in the same control group as the Marines. Went for a stutter step there. Now needs to pull back this Thor, but I actually think he should be flying forward rather than back. So you can target down these brutes. It's not enough. Clem needs to tap out. So Serral wins game number 3 here on Blackburn. Game number 4 here between Clem and Serral is being played on Glittering Ashes. I just got the message back from Clem, by the way. I asked him about the building game too. I asked him, hey buddy, like, let's be real, did you forget your second gas and did you just kind of freestyle afterwards? He says, yeah, lol, ha 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 ha. I did kind of freestyle. I messed it up, and well, it wasn't too pretty of what happened afterwards. So we actually did just forget the second gas. I already was thinking to myself, that is not a build, alright? Like that is... I'm glad that I managed to spot that. That my Terran knowledge is good enough to go to have a look at it and say, okay, this doesn't make any sense. A double mine drop with an armory while going for 2 racks with a single, like it's just nonsense. And the third gas timing also was odd. So I'm glad we got that confirmed, and not that there would be some professors here in my YouTube comments saying, well, actually. This is a great build because it forces detection out of the Zerg while also pressuring with a lot of Marines. You're just a dumb to understand. Well, you can go suck it now, Professor, because my man Clem told me that it was a mistake. It was a freestyle. A little bit of a freestyle there out of Clem. And we'll have a scout. No, we're just gonna have a more regular game. No pool first. This is a large map. This is a really large map. This is an insanely large map. And even though I always like large maps for Zerg, actually. Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe this time around I like it for Clem, because it feels like Serral has been the one that's been really aggressive, but I feel like large maps just favor Zerg for 2 main reasons, okay? A, it makes it really easy for Zerg to set up counterattacks, because the timing where you see a move out and the time you have to respond to set up a counterattack is just so long that you can always set it up. And 2, you can get a lot more drones initially than you usually can, because the initial timing is going to hit later and every other timing is going to hit later. So everything, like reinforcements will be later. Like it's just really easy to get a lot of creep out, to get a lot of money, and to get counterattacks going. And these are basically the main 3 things that Zerg cares about. So yeah, the larger the map, the better it tends to be for Zerg. The more bases, the better it tends to be for Zerg, as pure split map scenarios tend to be bad for Zerg, but good luck splitting a map with 35 bases. I mean, 17 bases each and then 1 left over. Well, what is it actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 18 bases on this map. I think this is the largest amount of bases of a map in the past 3-4 years, I think, honestly. That is a crap ton of bases. There are 4-player maps with less bases than this. There's a lot of 4-player maps with less bases than this. Frost, for example, only has 16. 4-player map, ladies and gentlemen. This is a standard 2-player. Amazing. I don't know what these guys are called, by the way. You can't click them either. These little pricks. These little lava monsters. I like the textures on most of these new maps, by the way. I like the overall aesthetics. Gold minerals is a thing producing lava. I'm not quite sure why you'd want to produce lava. This is something that this evil guys from a cartoon does. You know, just produces lava to pour it over a city. It's like a very inefficient way as well to go about things and to create chaos. But if it works, it works. You know, something Doofenshmirtz would do. 2 Hellions moving forward. Triple CC Hellion Banshee coming out of Clem. So going back to his roots. First time we're seeing this. He's been getting way more aggressive lately with these Hellions and with these forward moves. Really has been the case. Card 3 and 4 moving across the map as well. Going kind of around, looking for any potential anything. So we're actually seeing a Hellion split. It's not something we see often. Going to be able to get a single tumor there as a result of that split. This is nice. It's actually splitting his cars. This I want to see first person. This I want to see first person. I think it's one of the first times I see this when it's not Archon. I'm gonna probably get them together now, but the speed of this guy is so... It's actually crazy. It actually is something else. I very rarely see someone as... Maru is like this. He is just as fast, Maru. Just so insanely quick. It's marvelous to watch behind these guys as well. Like how precise they are, how fast they are. I wish you could see the mouse clicks and just like the way that they touch the keyboard and the mouse. Just that first person view is just... It's freaking beautiful, I'll tell you. Okay, it's freaking beautiful. A couple of queens are taking a fair amount of damage. Ali is moving back. Banshee doing a decent amount as well. What is this? 6 Hellions? I think so. I think so. What do we have here? 2 E-base. Bunch of barracks. I'm loving this build order out of Clem. I also saw an armory if I recall correctly. Yeah, okay, here we're gonna go. Hellbats are moving in right now. Baneling's not quite ready. Queen's in position. Oh, look at his Spore just joining the force here. Holy crap. We got this guy to sign up. He's been real useful. Pushing these Banshees back immediately. There's no Spore in the third base node though. However, if these Banshees were being controlled, they could really be doing some big damage. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Not only does he get the damage, he also sees the Spire. Relatively big deal here for Clem, who now has that information, wanted to take it out, perhaps a little bit optimistic. I was going to be able to get a couple more workers here. This is a good start for Clem. Did lose all the cars. That is painful. I think he lost 8. Lost 12 cars already. And he still has 3 alive. Okay, he went way more cars than I thought he went. Spire is done. There's no real pressure on the map right now because the marine count is so low. Yeah, but Clem has a lot of supply. A lot of supply. Of course, these in the next few seconds, of course, the supply of Serral also will increase as these Mutas should start. Second factory on the way in the main base. It's going to be for more mines. Maybe for a Thor as well. Shooting claws in a Thor. A couple of Hellbats are moving forward here. Is there a decent Baneling count? There's no Banes. Worker count is really low. Now, very often the most important timing for a Muta player is that first timing to do damage or to completely push back the Terran. So you can see that Serral's on a low worker count. This is not the biggest deal if you're allowed to drone up to 82 or 81 or 78 the moment you push back this drop. The problem here is that I'm not sure if Serral really can push this back. Is there a way for Serral to force back this army? I think the answer might be no. I think Clem needs to wait a little bit though. Combat shield is about to finish up. 1-1 is about to finish up. Clem could have the trade of a life. Oh my god, huge Baneling hit here. It's going to take out 5 Banelings at the same time. Serral's going to try to kind of base trade, but turrets are up already. That Baneling got stuck between an SCV and a refinery. Is Serral just dying here right now? It is possible. These Mutas are looking for damage, but not only does Serral need to deal damage, he also needs to not receive any damage, and he needs to be building drones, and that's definitely not the case. Clem somehow managing to get a bit of a parade push going here. We are on, what is this, 5 barracks? 4 CC is already done. The extra barracks should be coming up soon. Big hit once again with a Widow Mine. There is still a lot of mines here. 1-1 just now starting for... Serral's in an awful position currently. These Mutas did not do what they wanted to do on the other side of the map. And he didn't manage to push back this army with the rest. Now needs to bring home the Mutalisk. Ooh, could have been a lot worse. Ended up being okay. 4 links do end up falling though. Clem looking to take this fight. Doesn't want to lose these metavacs. That's one of the main things he doesn't want to lose. Might be able to take out a Mutalisk here. Actually, Serral's moving very far forward. I think 1 Muta ended up going down. Drilling Claws is already finished. Oh my god, big hits here on the Overseers as Clem continues the pressure. And we see this income gap. We see this gap in workers here. And that's what's so bad here for Serral. These fights haven't necessarily been awful. These fights have been okay. But they would just be okay if you're on 85 workers, and that's not what Serral is currently. This was a little bit of a better fight. Cleans up a lot of these mines. Might be able to take out one more. No, doesn't quite get it. Once again, not a full cleanup. And Clem keeps pushing forward. Keeps Parade pushing across that map. Do we have the extra barracks being thrown down yet? No, we don't. Not as of yet. Clem hasn't really found space for that. Hasn't found the time. We have a Thor on the way. Mine count is dwindling. One here with the army. One more in the back. One on the side and one more coming in right now. 5 total. Can we get a good flank here out of Serral? I think the answer is going to be no. Large part of this supply for Serral is also in this Mutalisk. Only 8 Banelings remaining, 9 more on the way. Needs to get something done with this Mutalisk. And really what he needs to get done is he needs to kill 10, 15 workers. He needs to force Clem back completely and then clear this bush all at the same time. And I am not quite sure if that's going to be possible. The first thing is happening here. We see SCVs are being taken out. But the push isn't going back home. The push isn't being stopped. Reinforcements do have to stay home. But the store, oh my god, getting some big hits here on the Mutalisk. Turret does fall. 6 workers have gone down. At the same time, though, this also needs to be pushed back. Single mine remains. Clem moving back very rapidly. Making sure to not get any big hits out of these Banelings onto his Marines. Last turret remaining in the main base. 13 Mutalisk. Oh my god, they will be able to take this out. And now the workers do start to fall. Clem gets pushed back. And finally, we have some breathing room here for Serral, who can maybe sprinkle in what? 5, 6, 7, 8 drones perhaps? It's gonna start with 5. Okay, I like this. This is exactly what he needs. Don't forget, he's also falling further and further behind in the upgrades as he can't find the money to get those upgrades going. Clem keeps pushing forward as he kind of refines his momentum. Rediscovers his momentum and says, okay, that was cool, that was cute with those Mutalisks, but I'm set up once again and now I am pushing forward. My +2 attack has finished up, I have a good eco and I'm here. And you need to deal with me right now or you're going to be losing this base. And this is one of the bases that is so vital for Serral's survival. Did manage to kind of equalize here. It's also sending out, once again, a bit of a run by. I do like that wants to force his opponent back home. Big rotation out of Clem, who's kind of controlling this middle path here with these mines and then rotating in between the bottom and between the top. I don't think there's enough Widow mines here though. There's a crap ton of Banes. Oh, do get that first Widow mine. Do get that first Widow mine. Can this second Widow mine get a detonation? No, it can't. Mutalisk flying into the main base. Are the responses out of Clem quick enough? They are quick. Are they quick enough? Yeah, they definitely are. There's a lot of Mutas are actually taking a bit of a beating. No Banelings being morphed here yet. Definitely should be happening soon to try and get something done on the other side of the map. Serral has been taking good fights now, and these Mutas are finding a little bit of momentum and are pushing Clem back, are cutting off these reinforcements. And they're getting something done, but we still need a good fight. 2-2 also starting here. The next step is going to be most likely an infestation pit. We're going to need more drones for that. 11 workers going down on the side of Clem, a couple of Marines falling as well, and Clem actually kind of faltering under the pressure here. Serral is somehow, some way making it work and actually forces back a big chunk of the reinforcements here, as turrets have gone down in every single base at this point. 20 workers have gone down, 55 remain here for Clem. That does mean that his army is absolutely massive. 132 army supply. Don't forget, if Serral wins this game, he will win the series 3-1. Clem needs to win this if he wants to keep his chances alive in this series. 5th base finishes up. 24 workers have gone down on his side. 3-3 is about to finish as well. And we have a bit of an army split here. Where's the Mutalisk? 15 Mutalisk still flying around with an Overseer. We'll be able to find this drop and take it. No, barely. Not capable of taking out. Single HP remaining on that medevac. That's a pretty big deal here. Mule just standing around, not doing much of anything. Clem can't afford that. He doesn't have the SCV count for that. Where before he had too many SCVs, now perhaps he has a few too little. Turrets too late in the main base once again will get taken out. Will need to be cancelled as SCVs are going down. And Clem says, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to move forward. Serral has been doing a fantastic job. Did manage to get 2-2. Pushed back his opponent, but he still is lacking a bit in creep. That's one of the things that Terran here can abuse. Ooh, big run by. Big run, but this is aiming, this is gunning for the 4th. He's going to be gunning for the 4th base. At the same time, he's going to lose his own. Well, I think this was the 5th base, actually, not the 4th. The 4th was more up there. Could be wrong, of course. But drones being pulled to action as well. Military conscription in Finland is helping Serral out here as well, saying, hey, I know that trick from my home country. This base is definitely going to fall, I think. Yeah, it's gonna go down. It's a pretty big deal. At the same time, we see a base go down over here. Muta-ling flying in towards the middle base. Clem is broke. Well, he's not broke, but he has no SCVs left. He's gonna be broke soon if he takes a bad fight right now. This is going to be it. This is the final push that Clem has. He has 3-3. He's up 40 army supply, but this is on creep, and that is dangerous. A lot of the medevacs not participating in this fight either. A lot of the army not participating in the fight either. I think we just saw a big F2 move here out of Clem, saying, okay, I just want to go kill you right now. I need to. I absolutely have to. I'm mining half of what you're mining. Just lost a base here in the top left. I lost a bunch of SCVs everywhere. 35 against 75. Here comes Serral. We'll be able to take out these mines. Serral can be patient. Serral can be careful. Just now starting +1, by the way. 25 Muta-ling, taking out every single reinforcement that's coming across the map. I think Serral might be doing it here, right now. 11 more banelings on the way. Does need to slow down this push. Does really need to slow down this push. There's still 13 mines. How many of those are over here? I can only see 3. And of those 3, only a single one remains, and it's far in the back. 18 more workers go down. Muta is going absolutely ham on the other side. I think... I'm not sure. Did the baneling nest just die? Baneling nest is gone. No more banelings. Needs to be rebuilt ASAP right now. Where is the baneling nest? I don't think Serral realizes that he lost it. He needs to rebuild the baneling nest. What an insane game. Absolutely bonkers series in general so far. A lot of mines are at home. We'll be able to defend against these Muta-ling if they stand close together. There's so many Mutas though that they can be one-shot. So if they're slightly out of position, they can still be taken down. And that is something that Clem definitely needs to be mindful of. Oh my god, both of these mines are going to get taken down. Every single mine is going to get taken out. These Mutas are putting in the big work. Serral's just not responding. 1600 minerals in the bank, 700 gas. No pool. No baneling nest. Now starts the pool. And then we'll need to start the baneling nest after. What a huge error. Huge error out of the Finnish Zerg here. Just keeping a large portion still. Imagine how many banelings is this? It's like 700 gas. We got 20, 21, 22, 23 banelings extra. There's only 5 mines remaining against a 63 army, 63 marine army. That's a pretty darn big deal. That's a pretty darn big deal here. Lots of medevacs still as well, by the way. Of course, Clem isn't aware of the fact that there's no baneling nest and doesn't know that there's actually quite some time pressure on him right now. The moment Serral's, even his pool... Oh my god, pool built at the wrong base as well. It's gonna get taken out, no? Clem, take it! Shoot it! This is the most important thing you're gonna shoot down this game, because then a baneling nest won't be able to be built. Oh, no baneling nest, no pool. We're gonna go full base rate mode. This game is bonkers. We might actually be going for elimination here. I think that Serral might be able to get it. Spawning pool here on the bottom right is being constructed. No spawning pool here though, and I think that is what is necessary as well. This base might get saved. I can't speak English anymore. Slightly too exciting. 2 more depots on the way as well. These queens are going to get butchered. Thor goes home. Thor goes home. Yeah, I'm not quite... Oh, mine's gonna hit. Thor's gonna get a couple of big shots in as well, and... The overseer just died. That's the last overseer. No, there's one more overseer. There's one more overseer. Should be going towards the Mutas right now. More mines are in production. Clem somehow still had some money. Still is mining as well. From his natural of all places. The pool finished up. We're gonna need to see a baneling nest and produce some freaking links right now. What is happening here? Serral's choking. No baneling. Why is he not building a baneling nest? He's looking for creep. He's looking for these drones. Oh, he's gonna get there in time, no? Is he? Look at these marines. Okay, gets it down just in time. Built 6 links as well at the same time. Still a lot of money in the bank here for Serral. A lot of baneling potential. Did he get Burrow? I remember him researching Burrow. He doesn't have Burrow. Burrow would be huge here. Burrow would be game changing. It really would be. But he doesn't have it, so it's not game changing. Well, it's game changing that he doesn't have it. Okay, we're gonna see a hatchery over here in the natural. You have a hatchery on the top. Another hatchery on the top. Muta-ling going ham in the main base. With the bounces, we'll be able to take down a couple of marines. Oh, we'll be able to take out this mine. That was chilling there for nothing. Funnily enough, taking... Oh, that's brilliant! That is brilliant. Taking out the armory. They have to keep taking it out. Take out that armory, because then the mines can... They won't be invisible anymore after shooting, which means that losing an overseer wouldn't be the end of the world. 20 banes in production right now, right next to this baneling nest. Does Clem realize how 13, 21 drones, just like that. 19 drones remain. 4 of those are here in the bottom left. The rest of them is going to go here towards the top. 20 Banes extra have been built. 22 Banelings are here. 52 Marines. What is a mine count? We're at 8 mines though. I think Clem might have it. 104 army supply. Oi, 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 oi. What a game. What an absolute banger of a game. It's not over yet. So Clem takes the next base right now. 4 workers remain. He's going to need to build about 17 depots before he can start producing anything though. Surprised we don't see these barracks and starport kind of migrate towards our new base. Clem is pushing in right now, and I think this might actually just be it. I think this might just be it. Still has that drilling clause, of course. The research doesn't go away after losing the armory. Just... Okay, here we go. Serral. Is this it? This is it. And it's not gonna be it. Thor tanks a lot of these shots. Marines do the rest of the job. And Clem wins a game that is... Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers. Sick. Insane series. Insane series. 2-2 is the score, and we'll be heading into game number 5. A fitting way to end the series here on 2000 Atmospheres. And it's one of the old maps. I can't remember. Did we play Blackburn? Yeah, we did play Blackburn. What is Serral veto? In order to keep Blackburn in is what I'm wondering, actually. That's a good question. I don't actually know. I don't actually know what Serral vetoes in order to keep in Blackburn. I'd have to figure that out. I guess Clem vetoes Pride of Altaris because the gold base is a little bit too good there. And then Serral would... I guess Berlingrad is the veto then. So Berlingrad perceived to be a better Terran map than Blackburn is. Interesting. I didn't know that, at least by Serral. I'll have to talk to my Zerg friends there to get that double confirmation. Sometimes early on in a map pool, players just aren't quite aware yet what is the greatest map and what is the worst map, you know, and they just kind of go off gut feeling or how they've been performing on that map so far or how they feel on a map. Very often you just have a good feeling sometimes with a map, even though it isn't necessarily that good for your race. For example, I always really disliked Blackburn at the start, even though it's not that bad of a map for Protoss whatsoever. Yeah, it's just something to keep in mind, especially at the start of a new map pool. We all need to get used to that a little bit. This guy is flying around with his legs hanging. How many legs does this clown have? 6. And he also has 2 hands, doesn't he? He's like little oven mitts on his hands, it looks like almost. I'm not sure why he has so many hands and all he does is just fly around. I wonder how he does get propelled, by the way. Like there's no wing flapping or anything. You know? Just kind of hovers. I don't see any rocket fuel coming out of him either. How does he do that? There is like some heat coming out, like some steam. And maybe some Zerg technology. I'm not quite sure how that works. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm gonna have to ask one of the guys that created the unit to explain to me what happened there. See the Reaper moving in right now, trying to dish out a bit of damage, as it always tries. And very often that's really all it does, just try. This time though, we might be able to get a Ling here or there. Oh, yeah, we might be getting... No, I'm not going to be able to get a Ling. Very close though. We have another attempt. Oh, that's one Ling. That's... No. Oh my god! The Reaper dies. Huge deal. Huge deal. 2 reasons here. First of all, Clem's playing triple CC, which means you're delaying your Hellions already. We're going to see a starport and a second refinery before the Hellions start, okay? This is the standard for Terrans. Second of all, the moment... we're going to be able to fight these rocks for a bit. These rocks are going to be way further down than they should be. I'm not saying they're going to be absolutely dead, but they'll be down to like 1,000 by the time these first 2 Hellions arrive. And another question is, can we actually send the first 2 Hellions straight across the map? And the answer to that might be... We can, but it's risky. What if Serral decides to hide 12 Lings over here? The moment he sees your Hellions move out, he goes in with the Lings. You'd be in trouble. You don't know where the Lings are because your first Reaper died. This is why losing the first Reaper is so insanely bad. It's not like the cost is insane, but you're just losing map control. On top of that, you're also getting your opponent free creep tumors as far as they like, as many as they like. Like this is the dream world here for Serral. This really is the dream world. We also see a nice little dream world here for Clem. He's going to be getting a Cloak Banshee out. It's such a dreamy unit, the Banshee. 2 more SCVs being pumped as well. That's not very interesting. These rocks, however, are very interesting. I wonder how much armor these rocks have. Probably 3. That looks like they have 3. Yeah, the things have a lot of damage. Well, the rocks are going to get taken out here. It's nice always to get these rocks down quick and early in the game. Ooh! Almost got a surround with the queens. If you get surrounded by queens, it's actually kind of sad. It's like getting surrounded by a building, you know? It's like, if you get caught, like you go to sleep and the next day you wake up and someone just constructed a wall around you. Like, you deserve to be in that man-made prison, my friend. Like, you're not allowed to get out anymore. Like, if that happens to you, then... And it's the same with the queens. Like, they're so slow. If you get surrounded by queens with your Hellions, yeah, they don't deserve to live. Hellions have high speed. There's a bit of creep right now, so the queens will be faster. Perhaps might attempt another queens around here. Hellions looking for damage. Do we get a... Oh, I was hoping for a scan, but we didn't get a scan. 87 supply right now here for Serral. Clem is on 75. He's looking to go into a 5-rex. Tanks is going to be what he'll be going for as well. Okay. It's kind of interesting here. Tanks rather than mines. Well, at this point, it does seem to me like it is going to be a Ling Bane approach here for Serral. So the tanks do surprise me a little bit. Yeah, here comes the first tank. Might see a single tank push here on the fort base. Fort base hasn't started yet. These Banshees are dishing out a fair deal of damage. 4 Spore defense here from Serral. Which means it's going to be easier to defend the Banshees, because you have 1 extra Spore than usual. A lot of Zergs, by the way, have been favoring a 4 Spore response. We see Marines now moving into the 3rd base. A lot of these cars are still alive. These Banshees still somehow getting damaged. Banshees are so insanely annoying, by the way. I hate this unit, but I love it at the same time. Yeah, well, that's... no, that's not where you want to be right now with the Banshees. That is definitely not where you want to be with the Banshees. How many queens are there? Like 9? No, actually 9, exactly. Not just like 9, it's just 9. These Banshees are trying to do more damage. They actually are getting damage every single time, again and again and again. That is interesting. 2nd factory right now coming down. 1 more tank is on the way. We'll see what decides to stay home, as the Banshees are stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Can't really make their way back home to defend this 3rd. So Hellions most likely will need to stay home. But then this tank push actually loses some of its strength, because one of the big power plays here is that you can defend your tank. What in the world is this? Oh, this is a 5th base denial play. What? Serral's taking the bait? What? That was an awful trade. That was really bad. What did he do? Why did he do that? I guess he saw that he had superior upgrades and no combat shield and thought he could fight it. He just threw away like 50 links. And you kill like 9 Marines. That's it. 10 Marines maybe. But an insane play. Like, I appreciate the 5th denial, but that was a bit much, I think. Okay, now we have 1 tank moving forward. Clem is in a fantastic position all of a sudden here, and I'm not saying Serral is dead, but he looks pretty dead to me. We don't have that many Banelings. Centrifugal Hook's not done yet. It will be done soon. 2nd tank here moving forward as well. Hellbats moving in. We get a stim, we get a stim, we get a stim. Yeah, we get a stim, but not really killing much of anything. Fort CC is about to finish up. Tank targeting hasn't been great this game. Tank targeting there wasn't brilliant. This push does get cleaned up with relative ease. Immediately see a redrop here. Notice, by the way, that the medevacs can't heal while they are dropping. Just something to note. Huh. Fort base moving in position. I still like Clem's position, but that last fight wasn't quite it. I think he got a little bit over-eager. I also got over-eager. I thought the game would end there, so I Can't really blame the guy for pushing forward. Even me with full vision really thought he had a chance there. Ooh, that's a nasty F2 move. That was a nasty F2 move. Okay, this is gonna give Serral some breathing room here. Throws down the 5th base here on the top side. Realize that a lot of the pushing is going to be happening here on the right side, and immediately adapts to it. Nice little adaptation. Single mine remains. I think Serral actually kind of managed here to equal out this this game. Work count's still very low though, especially because he's playing pure Ling Bane. It's not like he can truly push it back like you sometimes can with Muta-ling, you know? These units are always going to remain on the map, so you want to get your drones as soon as you can. You want those high drone counts. 2-2 is finishing up here for Clem as well, and now he might want to start fighting a big fight. You see this very often, is where for a long time you have these split armies, and then once an upgrade round completes, you see the Terran kind of push together in one big ball. And that's exactly what Clem is doing here. Moves forward. He's not quite aware of the flank. Oh, now he's aware of the flank. Single Marine here. Going from the left side. Has to pay for that information with his life. Not the greatest mine hits. Actually, it's a lot of splash damage on his own unit. A lot of friendly fire there. This is a very good cleanup. Clem not looking to be in too hot of a position anymore. Mines burrow forward. Well, the Clem's supply is low. 150 supply currently. I'm gonna try to snipe a couple of these units. Serral not on a hive yet. Does have an infestation pit. No lurker then. Can we get a burrow on these mines? Yes, we can. Can we get a shot on those mines? No, we cannot. 2 mines still remaining here. Clem needs to run all the way back home at this point. And does Serral really want to push forward into this choke? Not without banelings. Only has 7 currently. Needs to get 10-15 extra banelings, and maybe then he could have. Starts working on these rocks perhaps. It's useful to have these rocks down. It really... Ooh, that's a cute little burrow. A couple of nice burrowed baneling mines there. I'm wondering if Clem is paying attention to that. I wonder if Clem is paying attention to that. Serral for sure is. Uh-oh, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. That's a big hit. Oh, that is a big hit. Clem immediately needs to start moving back right now. Single mine remaining. A lot of his marine force gets taken out. Split army force. Is that a possibility at this point? Maybe? I don't know if it is. Do we have to splash with both armies in that case? Yeah, 7 mines. We need to spread them across the map a bit for run-bys as well. Very rare, by the way, to see big run-bys when playing Ling Hydra Bane. Very often you see more 2-army play. It's just Ling Bane or Muta-ling Bane where you see the big run-bys. And this is more like a 2-army split, and if you push 1 army back, you can push in. Hydras are very good at taking out mines. Which is also why we Ooh, that mine got more than it should have. That's why you often see tank plays, what I was going to say, before I got cut off by action happening. This series has been action-packed. It's an insane series. It's actually... The level of play in this series is so ridiculously high. It wouldn't surprise me if these guys are actually just the 2 best players at this moment. They're facing off in a best of 5. It's just ridiculous how good they are. Like, they're so fast. The tactical knowledge, the micro, the control, but also the pure mechanical skill that we're witnessing is... It's just freaking bonkers to me, honestly. It's actually bonkers. Overseer gets taken out. So we have... Oh, what is this? Well, these bad boys are gonna get... what are these mines doing? Protecting the watchtower. Kind of split as well. It's not like they're gonna get a big hit off here. I don't think they should be capable of that. This army needs to get picked up. A couple of these marines will get Kerrigan behind. So you have more command centers being thrown down right here. Ay. Mines moving forward. The game is slowing down in pace. And as I say that, we have another push moving forward. It's actually just constant action in these games. Just constantly moving forward, moving back. Will not be able to get that hatchery though. Picks up and leaves. Boom! Doesn't actually get anything with these mines. I thought these mines would be able to do way more damage. If command center's moving towards the right side. Command center here in the middle as well. Once again, quickly expanding. Here is Clem. Needs to be careful, of course, on 2000 atmosphere. That is a little bit more viable. It's just easier to defend those bases once you have those watchtowers, especially. Just get a lot of vision. Ooh, Knight is into the main base. Knight is into the main base. Is there any units here? No, there's no units. Clem just doesn't have anything. Uh-oh. That's an issue. He's gonna pick up. Where's he gonna go? Well, he's gonna go back into his main base, isn't he? 14 medevacs here, and we have a large army here that at the same time as this is happening. It's not a whole lot, by the way. +2 ranges. Where's the Nidus? Is there more in the Nidus? I can't find the Nidus. It's over here. There's more lurkers in it. He actually just went back in. Now I have a Nidus outside here. And he didn't move forward with this army either. So missed opportunity here for Serral. Still will be able to eventually take out this base. Maybe a blinding cloud necessary. Oh, I love this move so much. We'll be able to maybe... Well, was hoping for a big ghost chunk perhaps. Should be capable of getting this base as well, by the way. But Serral not really paying attention. Perhaps afraid of a counterattack right now. Knight is over here. Managed to poop out 2 of these lurkers. Now start assaulting... well, this building command center and this planetary. I love this play. Yep, that hatchery, or sorry, that command center is gonna go down. See a link being burrowed and being unburrowed. Ooh, he's gonna get his own hatchery here. This is what we call an ambitious play. Once again, it seems like Clem spread himself a little bit too thin this time around. This time it was mainly the Nidus, though. The Nidus really pulled him out of position. Funnily enough, now these banelings are a lot less useful. Nidus once again in the main base. Clem responds immediately and should be able to take care of that properly. F2's back home. Needs to be very careful, though, that he doesn't get caught out of position again. We don't have a sensor tower here yet. It is on the way right now. These banelings here unburrowed. Single mine's gonna take out a single link. Here come the banelings. Actually, a lot of banelings here went down. And is he gonna be caped? Ooh, that is really nice here for Clem. That is a big deal that this didn't die. This was a big investment out of Serral. A lot of banelings just went down. Resources lost. Heavily in favor of Clem. 18k against 25k. A couple of scans right now. Clem realizing what's going on. I feel like this could have been done with a single scan, but I'm not going to backseat the greatest Terran player that we've ever had in Europe. Actually, I am. That could have been done with a single. Could it be? Put it over here? Yeah, I think so. Gonna test it after this game. Command center lands as the planetary is being morphed here and the rich gas is taken. Topside base of Serral is getting taken out as well. So we're kind of getting a split map scenario in which I think Serral will draw the short end of the stick. His stick is just a lot shorter, really. Yeah, he's going to have less bases. Not going to be able to mine from this base. He's not going to be able to mine from this base, which means that Clem is going to be up a base. That's an issue. I really like this split map scenario here for Clem. These links are going to go down as well. Serral needs to break something here. Sorry, I like the split map scenario here for Clem. I can't remember what I said. I think I said Serral. Yeah, Serral needs to break. Serral right now needs to start getting good trades or needs to start going into Broodlords. As I feel like the time of trading with these lurkers might be over. We're on 6 orbital commands. We have 18 ghosts. Like, this is an army that Clem has here that is just so freaking large. It is just such a big army with so much power in it that you need a big army with power yourself. And perhaps going for these run-bys and taking out base on the side isn't good enough, because the moment you kill a base, you can't defend the other side anymore. These are good snipes. All of these lurkers are going to go down, or at least a large portion of these lurkers are going to go down. The Vipers fall as well. Serral in a little bit of trouble here. Banelings are being morphed in. A couple of snipes going down on these morphing Banelings. Mines moving forward. There's a lot of Banes here, by the way. 18 Banelings to be exact. 3-3 not quite done yet for the Zerg army. 3-3 has been done for ages for Clem. We see these Overseers getting sniped right now. Is there cloak? There is personal cloaking. There's just nothing left here for Serral. I think Serral just kind of died here. 13 drones have gone down. 65 workers on his side, but he doesn't even have the bases no more. Bottom left side base still mining. Clem is aware that there once was a base there. And should probably looking to take out that base rather than moving forward. A lot of these ghosts in trouble do get saved here. Don't think any of them got Kerrigan behind. Let's see what this lurker doing. This lurker. Brutal. Absolutely brutal, this guy. In range of the planetary, no fear. This guy's a legend. Absolute legend. Mines are going to be moving forward. I'm surprised Clem didn't take out this base. I'm surprised Clem isn't taking out this lurker, but then again, maybe he doesn't believe he can take it. Gonna see a scan right now. Can we see a scan right now? Yep, we can. Planetary. I don't think the planetary shot once. Maybe it was not quite capable of reaching that, as I thought it was. Now this bottom side base is gonna get taken out, and that's just a very big deal. This is just a really, really big deal, because this is currently the biggest mining base for Serral. Serral needs to go for a counterattack. He goes for a counterattack, gets a big mine hit in the face here. 14 links go down at once. Planetary stays alive, and well, this is a link run by that's not going to be able to do anything whatsoever. I'm just going to walk into a planetary, and then, well, now these links and these marines and this marauder. Clem in a dominating lead right now. Absolutely dominating this game. Pure control. Pure control. Wait, I thought oh, this was the Banshee cloak. Personal cloaking now being researched. 4 more lurkers on the way. 10 lurkers out already. Not a single Viper though. Ghost count still at 17. Mine count at 13. Topside base is going to get denied one more time. This army over here should be able to hold the tower. And even put some pressure onto this base. This is the sadness of Serral's situation right now. Is that he needs to be afraid of half the army of Clem and can't really push into it. Oh, Clem also needs to be careful though. Can't just walk into 12 lurkers and 35 banelings. This army is just so large. It's such a large army. These mines are difficult to deal with here. Yeah, Serral can't move forward. This is the entirety of Serral's army. Oh my, never mind, that's not the case at all. Holy crap, that was a lot of damage at once. That was a lot of supply that just fell. There's like 10 ghosts that went down in 3 seconds. Serral just needs slightly more though. There's still so much money here for Clem. He's just out-mining his opponent. He has more bases available to him. He's not even mining from this base yet. He's rebuilding workers at this point. He's getting more orbitals. 7 are out already. This is absolutely heavily in favor of the French Terran. I think he's thinking of attacking into this. Oh yes, he is. Okay, takes out one of the lurkers. Gonna get a decent trade outside of that lurker range. Takes out 2, one more. 2, 3, no. Can we get it? Yes, we can get it. Slowly but surely fighting, chewing his way through that lurker count. Still needs to be careful. A lot of the ghosts have gone down at this point. Can we get one more snipe? Yep, we can. Another lurker goes down. Clem is just, winning this game after a great start. Serral managed to fight back and kind of tie up the game, even up the game. I really think it all went south, this attack into the planetary. That really was a turning point in the game where all of a sudden Serral kind of was out of money. He lost the momentum with that move and he didn't open up an avenue of attack in the future. Like the planetary was still there, which means you can start doing run-bys into the natural easier. All of a sudden, no. It was just pure pain, and now Serral is dying, and it has been a brilliant best of 5. It really has been a brilliant best of 5, but no matter how good you are, I don't think this is winnable no more for the Zerg. GG gets called, and Liquid Clem takes the series 3-2.